Well, RC fans out there in YouTube land, look what just showed up on my doorstep this morning. Maybe it's because I ordered it, but it's magically appeared. I'm lucky enough to live in Carmel, Indiana, and there's a FedEx distribution point just down the street from where I live. And it seems like a lot of the stuff that comes out of Horizon Hobby over in Champaign, 120 miles or so away, winds up coming here for distribution. So when I get something shipped via Surface, it comes over on FedEx Surface to our local distribution point just down the street, and I get it the next morning. I can order as late as 4 o'clock in the afternoon here and have something delivered the next day, which is probably better than most of you are getting, but it's one of the advantages of living here in this little town in Indiana. But anyway, this is obviously the brand new, fresh from the container, twin turbo timber. So let's see what's in the box. Okay, unboxing, yay. And go to the other end. And there it is. Always exciting taking that out. Let's try it this way. There it is, the good old dependable Horizon styrofoam boxes. Oh, let's see here. Not wanting to slide any further. Let's try pushing it. Almost. Here we go. There. That's out of the way. And scissors. So now there we go. We got wires. First thing that comes out is a wing. Fuselage. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. A wing, and it has a motor on it. Amazing. Looks like it's in really good shape. Servos sound good. It's actually got, whoa, it's got real hinges on it. Amazing. Well, it should have, because the control surfaces on this thing are monsters. So here's one wing, one instruction manual, one stabilizer. Oh, yeah, two stabilizers. Stabilizers. And so far it's actually looking a lot like, oh, one, uh-oh, what was that? Oh. Wing and tail. fuselage. This is the PMP version. I think I have an appropriate receiver for this guy. It comes out. And let's take a look in here. Oh my gosh. Look at all the connectors. Wow. Handy dandy, yep, big battery tray right there. And rotor's already hooked up. That sounds good, and yes, it's got real hinges. Connector for the elevators. And yep, no receiver. There's the avian. I wonder where the, look at the book to find out where the receiver is supposed to go in here. Yep. Interesting. All kinds of lights and stuff to hook up. Okay, let's put this out here. And I'm guessing probably another wing here on the other side. Yep. So let's take this loose. Yep. Back there. What do we got over here? 2 propellers, 2 landing gear legs. Oh, now, those are springs. I wonder if they'll fit the regular timber. If those will fit my turbo timber, I'm going to be ordering some springs for this guy. Because I don't think those are ever going to break. Wow. Much heavier grade steel. And 2 propellers. Oh, here's the hardware kit. Here, I got spinners. Oh, yeah, this is the spinners. Some miscellaneous hardware. Oh, those are the slats. And the edges. And the other wing. Unlike prior timbers, I guess it's because this is the Twimber X design, the servos are out in the open where you can get to them to adjust them, which is really nice actually. So I think that's all the styrofoam. Okay. I'm going to take a quick break and rearrange things here on the table for assembly. Okay, I've got everything organized here more or less. I've got some medium CA, a #1 Phillips 2mm hex, and in here I've got a 1mm Phillips, which is what it calls for. Everything's laid out here. And the first thing we're going to do, according to the instructions, is install the landing gear. Which means that this guy has to be upside down, like so. In typical timber landing gear, but it's definitely not the old timber that I'm used to. It's better, I think. So this one goes over here, and this one comes in over here. Now, I've got, yep, 4 screws. Oh, those are tiny. And yep, those are the right ones. That is some serious spring there. I think my number 1 will fit that. Yes. This is going to be a bit tricky because my screwdriver is not magnetized. So all you do to put these on is try to get that lined up. There it goes, going in very nicely. Maybe a 2-person job, I don't know. Let's see here. Takes quite a few turns, really fine threaded screws, so I'm going to tighten this one down. That one pretty well lined up. Let's see if this one will work as well. Of course not. Ah, there it goes. Excellent. Let's tighten this one up. That's good. Come on. There we go. There. Presumably that goes there, and for that we have, this is new, different from prior timbers. Oh, I see what they did. If you look at an older timber gear, these big springs on this one actually cross under the fuselage instead of being mounted on the same sides. So this one goes in here like so. At least that's what the manual says. Yep. And you have this really nice brass fitting that holds that down in place. Kind of a big washer in a way. Okay, so there's that side. And it was easy enough. Now for this side. Okay. Oh, it slipped. Let's see if I can make this work a little better. There. A little better light there. Okay, put the screwdriver in there. Started. Hopefully. It's cross-threaded. Let's try that again. Nope. Come at it a different way. Let's put this in here first. So, there. Oh, that feels much better. There she goes. Now, this we're going to be doing the elevators. Horizontal stabilizer assembly. Like there. Easy peasy. Not a problem. Once you get them lined up, everything fits really nice. Good and tight. And then let's see, this one goes like that. I suppose, well, it's got to go on one side or the other. Looks like it's designed maybe to go that way. Okay. Let's double check here. Yep. Could have slightly offset the receptacle holes for these two screws, but they didn't. So they actually, these two springs across. Well, that's going to be an issue. To move this spring out of the way to get this. So I'm having to move one, the first spring I installed has got to get shoved aside so that we can get this one to tighten up. It's not a big deal. Except that into that spring is not wanting to fit. It went. There. Okay, landing gear done. Good and tight, both sides. Yep. Now, next up, horizontal stabilizer. Screws go in the top. This little sparry thing here. Through that hole. Hopefully it will tight fit. Oh, no wonder. Why have it in there straight? Alright, so this guy, that hole like so. Make sure that the elevators actually get connected. Yes, they did. And these two screws, according to the manual, go in the top to secure. And yes, 3 hinges on each side, 6 total. That should never break. You may notice in the picture that we've already started on the receiver installation. It was 637T I'll be putting in here, which is exactly what they recommend if you buy the P&P model. You may be wondering why I didn't buy the bind and fly. Well, the reason is I got that 637T for a song off of eBay. I put in a low bid, didn't think I'd win it, and I did. And I'd much rather have the T than the TA that comes with this one, because the T is not factory locked, meaning that you have to go to their website with a cable and unlock the TA. Plus, it has altimeter and variometer. Probably eventually I'll put the GPS in here so that I'll always know where it crashes. Okay, there's that. All right, the tail is on. Now we have to hook up the control rod, which is right back here. There it is. And let's see, Which one do they recommend? The middle. Okay. Not a big fan of these Eflite push rod keepers, but on the other hand, I've never actually had one fail. So here we go. Let's see. If you haven't got a pair of these in your kit, you need one. Middle, yep, in the middle. Down here, somewhere behind, and snap. Okay, that's secure. I hear a servo moving. Nice metal ears, apparently. Sounds like them. So, we're coming together pretty quick here. We got landing gear on. We got tail on. Next up is prop adapter and propeller installation. So we will set fuselage aside and goes over there for a little later. Clean up a little bit here. That one's empty, that one's empty. Looks like I've got, I don't know what those are for. We'll find out, I guess. And we have two spinners, and they're color coded with prop mounts, red and green. And spar, won't need that till later. And our strap, the usual timber installation. So, what do we got over here? This is the green side. We have two connectors. One is for control surfaces and the other one is for the motor. And this is the green slash, well, yellow connector between the wires. Pick up the green one. Gotta be this one, right? What do we got in here? A bunch of screws, 10mm nut, and a prop adapter. The prop adapter presumably goes on like that. Like so. And this must be where the 2mm X comes in. Yep, certainly is. So, I'll stand this up one end. This on here. Just, there it goes, already caught. Don't tighten it up. Get the next one in. And that one's caught. Get done, we'll tighten them all up. This one in. That one's caught. Finally, this one in. And that one is threaded. Excellent. Great job. And this is a bit of a problem here. In that, tighten these up, and of course the motor wants to turn. You can't get them really good and tight. Okay. question would be, how are we going to tighten these up? If we can't lock that. Okay, let's try something here. I think we're going to need an extra tool. Let's try a pair of pliers and see if that will fit on here. No, that won't work. Needle nose? Not really, but let's try it. No, can get the, there we go. I'm wondering is, don't want to damage the, oh, there we go. Yep, that worked. Just a pair of needle nose on the, there. It's those two. Let's get these two. Needle nose pliers. The conveniently flat adapter. And tighten up. I hope I don't regret putting a little blue Loctite on these. Okay, there we go. Now, the red, the green one, which is the one we have here, this one is reverse threaded, installed on the right motor. The right motor, that is the right side motor. Yes, it is. Okay. Just double checking. Well, it's got to be, that's green too. Okay. Now, to get the proper prop on it. One is supposed to be marked C or counter rotating. But I don't see a CR marking on it anywhere. So here's what we're going to do. We'll walk over here and take a look at another prop real quick. So that one, this is, and take a look at this one. It's normal rotation. Yep. Is that right? This one is opposite to normal rotation. Strange to be threading that backwards. And 10 millimeter. Open that sucker up. Yeah, okay. Spinner. Boy, that fits nice and tight. And this takes this one. Well, it's got a lot of threads. Okay. So yeah, this one's counter rotating. Normally props rotate in that direction, this one goes that way. Excellent. So we'll set this wing aside. It's finished. Uh-oh. Not yet. Oh dear. You forgot something. Found this laying on the table. Sorry about that brief interruption, but the wife came downstairs and needed to see me for a second about something that obviously was very important to her, which means it must have been important to me, right? So, while I was away there, and she and I were having a discussion, I finished redoing this right side, starboard side motor. Now I'm going to do the same thing to the port side, and I'll stop the recording because you've already seen one, no sense in showing you both, but this will be the red side. That was interesting. When I went to try to go into forward programming to bind the receiver, I haven't done this very much actually, to one that's never been bound before, but it would not bind. And I had to take the wing loose, hook up the battery, and go back and manually push the bind button on the 637T to get it into bind mode. Now that it's bound, the battery is out. We will reinstall the wing. And start programming. Hopefully, throttle cut will work. Well, it did. I know throttle cut worked because when I hooked it up to bind it, it bound and no motors came on. So we will now get that very tight. That's good enough for these purposes. We will put the 3200 4S, which is normally what you use in this airplane now. Hands clear the props. Okay, little cut is on, no response. I was kind of afraid of that. Did not initialize. See if we've got forward programming now. I don't. Well, that was an interesting experience. I had to power the airplane down and back up about 3 times before the receiver, which I had to manually bind with the bind button, actually came up and started working correctly. And once it started working correctly, everything seems to be right where it should be, given that I haven't done any programming on weight. And you can see this is definitely a Twimber X wing, full aileron authority, 720 degrees a second roll rate. And I got to be careful here. Throttle cuts off. The tail is way out of alignment. I'm going to have to make a manual adjustment on the rudder. But importantly, counter-rotating props are working correctly. So the next steps I'm going to have to do is customize forward programming for safe select on channel B, which I haven't done that yet. I think I'm going to take the props off for further experimentation so that I don't hurt myself, and set up dual rates, expo and everything according to the manual, which I've not done yet. I'm gonna, because I really am not that, I don't want to be a 3D pilot with this thing unintentionally, so I am going to tone those rates down and probably use, for example, on the ailerons, about 50% on high rates and 25% on low rates, and somewhere in between on mid, and even that may be too much. I also need to reverse the flaps, because this is supposed to be flaps up and that's supposed to be flaps down, but that's an easy thing to do. Just swap the settings in the flaps. In fact, I'll just do that right now. Well, in the time between the start of this video and the end of the last one, what I've done is made sure that everything was all connected up correctly. I went back and double checked everything. I still don't know why it took 3 reboots to get the receiver to finally realize it was hooked up to an airplane and initialize everything, but I did. I took the props off because it's just safer that way, and now have set up all the controls on this airplane just like I have on all of my other Timbers ever had, or in fact all of my other airplanes in general. So those settings are over here on the B switch. That's safe mode.
Stability mode. Volume 95. ESC 15.2 volts. 655 amps. 81 Fahrenheit.
Something wrong with that telemetry. You'll have to fix that. 655 amps reported. That's not right. And
manual mode.
That is all gyros off.
Motor on.
Switch D is power.
Throttle cut.
Switch E is rates.
High rates. Mid rates. Low rates.
And I've tuned down the rates quite a bit from what you would normally find, of far under 100% on high and even lower on mid and low. Set up expo. Let's see, I set up the volume control on the rotating knob, and that's about it.
15.2 volts, 655 amps, 81 Fahrenheit.
From what I understand, I understand when you hit the rudders and the power is on. Yep, that's cute. Let's turn it around so you can see this. So throttle cut is off, and that's a good reason to turn it off. So I'm going to just barely put on any power. Use the rudders. This is right rudder.
ESC 15.2 volts.
And left rudder.
155 amps, 84 Fahrenheit.
That's pretty cool. The rudders actually control engine RPM, which controls yaw in addition to the rudder controlling yaw aerodynamically. That's pretty cool, actually. So I believe this Timber's ready to go fly. Simply got to figure out what's going on with the amperage reporting on telemetry. I have sound set up for all the control changes, and pretty much except for fine-tuning it in the air, this is it. So next time I go out to the field, I'll be taking this guy with me, along with my SIG model over there, a 64, and making some recordings out there as well. So that'll do it for the day. Hope you enjoyed this setup. It's kind of turn you off, as disjointed as it was perhaps, but it went together really well. No major issues other than having to make some minor adjustments. with centering up the rudder and that weird thing with the receiver, not, even though it was bound, not initially actually connecting up to everything. But seems like it's working okay now. We will find out. So I'll be back with you in a few days or a few weeks, depending on weather and some other things we've got coming up. I know we've got a trip to Nashville to see some friends and coming up in early May, and I've got a bunch of flying to do, actual full-scale flying to do, which has been getting in the way of models. Thanks for watching. If you like this and my other videos, think about subscribing.